Boom, 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 bomb at the mornings, afternoons, evenings and night. That is what the people of Gaza are hearing. That is what the children in Gaza are born into. That is what thousands have died to and more are dying as we speak. Tears have become floods and there are no words left. Hypocrisy is embodied through the silence of many of our member states. Have we forgot the reason of why international law exists? Because also wars have laws. Israel has indeed the right to defend itself against the terrorist organization Hamas, and all the hostages must be released. But they also have an obligation to protect civilians. One crime against international law can't be justified with another crime of international law. It is time for the EU and our member states to wake up and defend what we claim we cherish: human rights. It is time to defend civilians. It's time to end the bombs that are raining over Gaza and violence against Palestinians in the West Bank. No hatred against the Palestinians or Jews can ever be accepted, nor Islamophobia and anti-Semitism that are both on rise in our unions. We need to end this violence, polarization, and we need to ensure a two-state solution through ending the occupation.
Next speaker.
Thanks, President. A month has elapsed since the commencement of the unrelenting mass murder of Palestinians in Gaza. It's not a spiral of violence, Frau von der Leyen. It's genocide, openly declared and carried out by the apartheid state of Israel. Starvation, bombing, hospitals, ambulances, journalists, humanitarian routes. 10,000 dead, 1 in 200 Gazans killed. A Palestinian child slaughtered every 10 minutes for a month. And Frau von der Leyen's answer to this graveyard for children is to tell Israel to avoid civilians. Be as targeted as you can. Well, that displays some neck. You can't even call for it to stop. You can't even call for a ceasefire. Well, of course you can't, because these crimes against humanity are being carried out with your weapons, in your name, when you stood with Israel a month ago and you said you'd stand with them now and in the days to come. So don't come in here trying to wipe the blood off with belated concern. It's not just Israel's genocide, it's yours, and The Hague isn't good enough for you.
Next speaker, Mrs. Yancheva. The floor is yours.
Over 4,000 children have been killed by the colonial Israeli regime in 1 month. 8 times more children have been killed in Gaza in 1 month than all of the Ukraine war. 8 times more. And EU leaders are still talking about Israel's right to defend itself. Defend itself. Is bombing hospitals and churches defending itself? Is bombing refugee camps defending itself? Is slaughtering 4,000 children defending itself? I mean, where have we gone? There's over 10,000 civilians been killed in Gaza with EU and US weapons. European white supremacy knows no bounds. A genocide is being carried out by a far-right apartheid Israeli regime, and they're doing so with our unconditional support. It is the EU leaders, not only can you not call for a ceasefire, you can't mention the words condemn and Israel in the same sentence. How in God's name is the EU ever going to talk about human rights anywhere again?